Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today.
What's up, guys? This is Brian. This is the Till You Collapse podcast, and I gotta tell you guys, I had a weekend in Utah. Donnie, Utah. Snowing. It snowed on a Persian, and the snow just hits me and it melts because I have desert blood running through my veins. So I spoke at my buddy event. Alex Urban is the CMO of the Lions Not Sheep. Good ass dude. I really got to know him more. First time I met him in person. It's crazy when you build these relationships with people over social media and you meet them in person. And it's always a good feeling when they are in person who they are on social media. Because a lot of times when you meet these fucking people from social media, they're nowhere near the same. And you're like, who the fuck are you? You know? But Alex is a super good guy. The event was amazing. Thanks again, Alex, if you listen to this. I spoke. I fucking set the room on fire. I love fucking speaking, Donnie. I can't wait to speak more, honestly.
Yeah.
Something I was trying to get into right before COVID hit and everything shut down. And I did speak at an event last year. Just one. And then this year is this event. I have another event in May in Mexico I'm booked for. So I'm excited, man. So if you want me to speak, if you have an event, hit me up. I will fucking light the room on fire. I guarantee you that. Yes, Utah, that was cool. It was cool out there. A lot of good people. And I'm just grateful that people want to hear my story and that people will get inspired by me, you know? It's good to speak and teach what I've been through and what I've done to help us get here, you know? Mm-hmm. How was your weekend?
It was good.
Yeah.
Restful, man.
Yeah. Restful?
Yeah.
Donnie,
Yeah.
You're supposed to be fucking working.
Nah, I just say that. I was working.
I know you were. I know you were this guy.
Yes,
I know you. You work hard, man.
Thank
I
you.
know.
Thank you.
Good. Let them know, though. Don't say rest if you work. You own what you do, my man.
Okay.
Say, I fucking killed it.
That's true.
Did you have any shoots or?
No, I didn't do any shoots this week.
Just editing?
Yeah, just editing.
Cool.
Getting caught up on projects.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You met with the Bull Evans, right?
Yeah. I was on the Bulls podcast. Shout out to him. I can't wait to post the content from that. It was a really good podcast. He has a really good setup out there. Yeah. That was a trip. How you knew his videographer?
Yeah. Jeremiah Evans' guy, right?
Yeah.
And, my friend Josh Miller, shout out.
Yeah.
It's his videographer.
Yeah, he was a cool dude. He was a cool dude. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
cool being out there.
Some good guys.
Yeah, I blew their mind with my jumping out of cars on TikTok. They were like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I just keep getting out the car. Donnie says, get out the car and do this. And I'm like, okay, Donnie, whatever you say, G. But it was cool, man. So I'm going to keep this podcast very, very passionate and direct. And I'm actually read off a post of Instagram. And I'm going to get into it a little bit. But I want you to feel this message and listen to it. And this isn't going to be a long podcast. It's going to be really taking in what I say in this post. And a lot of you guys have seen this post on Instagram, but it is a post from actually, over a year and a half ago now. So it's a very true, real, raw, vulnerable post. So I want you to listen to it and really when I read it, because I'm going to read it off and I'm going to try to read it as good as possible so you really feel it, because it's really true from my heart and core of something I've lived and been through. And one thing as entrepreneurs, as you start to get successful, people talk about overnight success. They always want to use that. They use that phrase, overnight success. Oh, you're overnight success. Oh, you didn't have to work that hard. It just happened. And that they kind of try to downplay what you've done to get where you're at, because what they see when that switch flips, that is what they see. You know, literally, I've started this company, 9 years ago. I lost everything 13 years ago. But from that point of losing everything 13 years ago, I just finally have come into a little bit of success. I'm far from successful. And my focus is helping my people inside these walls other than me become as successful as they can. That's my focus. I told you guys that. But from 13 years up until 4 years ago, guys. So what is that? 9 years? So 9 years of working more than you've ever fucking worked, more consistent than you've ever worked, harder than you've ever worked, more disciplined, with no compromise, 9 years to come into a little bit of success. And then you guys say overnight success, because that is what happens, is that switch flips and you get to that point. And then, sometimes people buy cars, whatever that's things you can visually see, but you really don't know what has gone in to get to that point. So I wrote this post a year and a half ago, and it was after I think I heard some kind of overnight success comment or something, and it struck a chord in me. I wrote this post a year and a half ago, and I wrote it fired up because I heard the overnight success comment. It got me fired up, and I wrote a very, very, very vulnerable post, and I'm going to read it to you guys, and I want you to listen to it and think about where you are in your journey. And this is me talking about my journey. Okay? You guys ready? 13 years to become an overnight success, in quotations. 13 years ago, I was at the brokest point in my life. I left my passion to chase money, and it ended up bad. I failed as a man, as a husband, as a father. We didn't have money to pay our bills. Financially, we lost everything. It was one of the worst, most embarrassing feelings I've ever had in my life. My wife, my new baby, and my baby on the way counted on me, and I failed them. I'll never forget that feeling. It's the worst thing I've ever felt in my life. I've used it as motivation every fucking day for the past 13 years. Every time I was tired, every time I wanted to give up, every time I failed and I got back up, every time I doubted myself, I thought of that feeling and the fear of feeling that again, and it's kept me going. It still keeps me going. I will never fail them again, and that's what keeps me driving against all odds. And I post and I show you things that I've earned to motivate you, not flex. You know, cars motivate me. They may not motivate you, but fuck the car. It's about the story of how I got to the car. 13 years from getting my cars repoed and losing everything to starting my first company with $300 to now earning the kind of cars I have. And you want to call that an overnight success? I want to share my journey with you. I try to share my journey with you. No bullshit. It's very embarrassing sometimes and hard for me to talk about, but I'm just being vulnerable and real with you guys. My hope is it resonates with one of you. You may be in the same spot I was back then now, and you may be thinking there's no hope. I'm proof that there is hope. You guys see where I'm at now. It's taken 13 fucking years to get here. And I know you guys want it now. You're hungry. I get it. I did too. But you have to put in the work. Nothing replaces the time. You can't take shortcuts. You can't get around it. You got to take the fucking stairs. Next time you get down on yourself or you compare yourself with someone that has something you want or you aspire to have, don't do that. Stop comparing yourself with anyone else. You don't know their story. You don't know what they've been through to earn what they have. This is your story. Don't forget, it took me 13 years to become an overnight success. And that's what I wrote. And that's real. I hope you guys feel that. What do you think about that, Donnie?
That's crazy.
Right?
Wild concept. Because people don't think of it like that, you know?
They don't. They just see what you have now and they don't know what it took to get there.
Yeah.
And they think it's easy because the problem is a lot of people glamorize on Instagram like it's easy, it's quick, this and that. And it's not, guys. It's very hard. It's hard for a long time. And there's nothing overnight about this shit. Mm-hmm. I'm here to tell you, I'm proof of that. I mean, shit. And the thing is I tell you what, in this day and age compared to where I was 13 years ago, technology, resources, it definitely, I'll give you this, it's definitely shorter than it has been in the past, but it's still going to take years. So if you're that kind of person that looks at people and thinks overnight success, hopefully if you listen to this podcast, that gives you some context to think a different way. Stop thinking that way. Because when you think that way, you never can be truly successful. If you have a mind like that you're thinking like that, that's handicapping you. That's holding you back. Because the thing is, if you think it's easy, if you think it's overnight success to reach those kind of things, and you actually try something and realize, oh, fuck, this shit's hard, you're going to quit and fold at the first second of resistance. Whereas if you realize that this shit that you see that I have is taking me 13 years of that blood, sweat, and tears that I just read to you, then you have more context. You're like, fuck, it's going to take a long time and it's going to be hard as fuck. And you're ready for that when it punches you in the face, because it's going to punch you in the fucking face. I promise you that. And that's all I wanted this podcast to be. Something quick, something hard hitting. Listen to that shit. Listen to it multiple times. That's all I got for you guys today. Please share this podcast. That's all I ask of you. Share it, subscribe to it, review it. We appreciate it. We love you. I'm out.
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers